apparently the trade war that's going on between America and China is not affecting China the way some of us would think. And the Chinese are coming on TikTok and they are waging war on the luxury brands that Americans love so much. All right. So all these brands that say made in Italy, apparently they're not made in Italy. Them boys is made in China. All right. So let's see what's going on with this right here. I want you to see what's up, and then we're gonna chop it up. All right. Check this out, man.
The bag can never be luxury. However, in fact, more than 80% of the luxury bags in the world are made in China. But those luxury brands just won't acknowledge that. They take almost finished bags from China factories back to their own countries and just do the repackaging and logo installing, something like that. That way, the bags will appear at their boutiques as made in Italy or made in France. You know, those sophisticated European countries, which make you feel mysterious, royal, and thus luxury. Now, close your eyes. Let's just do a little very easy experiment in your head, okay? Imagine that you have Hermes bag and suddenly the label on it changed from made in France into made in China, while everything else like leathers, zippers, and hardware remain the same. Do you suddenly feel that your bag is not as luxury as before? If you do, that means you have been misled and poisoned by the market campaign of those luxury brands for too long. Welcome to the real world. Now you see, those bags are made in China by our intelligent and diligent Chinese artisans. Let's not be poisoned and misled by the market campaign any longer, and be a real person. Buy a bag from our factory in China. See the real world for yourself.
Here's what's going on, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I kind of like what this man is doing, because you see, when there's competition, it's always best for the consumer. What this man is unveiling right now is pretty much what I suspected, and it makes 100% sense. If I'm a company and I know I'm not even at this point, I'm not even selling a product. I'm selling the idea of a product. All right. I got this Hermes or Chanel bag or whatever. But as soon as I change the tag from made in Italy to made in China, the value of that bag decreases or increases based off of the idea of the bag. So if I'm a smart business person, I realize that these people don't care about the quality. They care about the idea of what I'm selling. So as long as I can maintain the idea, now my next goal is to produce this the most cheapest way possible. Actually, it's funny. That's what happens in China. A lot of you guys see in America, we only have Apple and Android. But in China, they have a bunch of different cell phones and they compete with each other. And Samsung's out there too. I mean, Apple and Samsung, And the reason why their phones over there are so much better is because of the competition. There's so many different people trying to compete for, the consumer out there. But over here in America, when you only know two different phone companies, the other phone companies, they're not going to care enough to invest or to put new, better products in this country because we're so used to the idea instead of the functionality of something that it would make no sense. Like a super dope fire phone could be released here in America, but it would never sell because we don't care about functionality here. Like we've been so brainwashed, and not me, because listen, if y'all been watching me long enough, you already know, bro. I wear my actually, no, I can't lie, because your boy just started to get a little bit bougie on him, actually, but I'm not proud of it. Regardless, though, you know what I mean? Like because America the Americans are so easily manipulated, and luxury and flashiness and all these false standards of living. It would make sense for a company to just be like, oh yeah, what? They only care about the made in Italy sticker? Fuck it. Make this shit in China and just put the sticker on it. You understand? And that's what this man is doing right now. Because and I learned something else too, but before, actually, no, I should play the video because I'll probably butcher trying to explain what I seen. And it's going to come up because there's so many layers to this thing right here. You know what I mean? It's not only just the luxury brands right now that are going through it. You know what I mean? It's also these factories that are going through it, because you got to understand, once these tariffs hit, in China, these factories are like, oh, okay, well, then you think you're just getting these cheap BS products from us, but little did you know, all the stuff that you guys are paying big dollars for, they being made out here. Now this guy's on TikTok and they keep on taking his channel down. And actually, I do want to talk about TikTok. No bully, I don't care how many stories like this, bro. I don't care how many followers I got on TikTok. It's not good, bro. Until they sell TikTok, bro, it's not good. I'm like, I don't even like making TikTok videos. It's just whatever. I got to play the game. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's just like this man has been kind of like, pulling the wool over, pulling the wool from underneath people's feet and exposing the truth. And regardless of if you like the truth or not, you should always be able to find the truth. You understand? And because this truth is hurting these luxury brands, you know what I mean? Once you tell the people, hey, that thing that you're paying a $500 for is really made for $5 in this factory somewhere instead of where you think it is, then it hurts the brand. And so they got his channel taken down, and he's going to talk about it. And that's what really irks me about what's going on with this whole situation, because when it comes to social media and TikTok and all this other stuff, man, it's just like, man, like the landscape has just changed so much, and we all lose. You know what I mean? Every person that consumes social media, we all lose when a big player can come in the game and just shut information out like this. Check this out. We got some more. I think this is where he talks about his channels getting taken down. Look at this.
It's consumers versus producers, U.S. versus China. For Unions chase cheaper, Ripple turns into.
And listen, make sure you tap into Pink Book Lessons, man. Her channel is fire. I don't know why she got demonetized, bro. That's a bad hit. I don't know why that lady got demonetized, but she deserves to get monetized, man. So, all right, let's see what's up.
Again, our TikTok accounts are permanently disabled. Well, to be honest, I can't really remember how many times. Maybe this is the 7th or the 8th time. And why does this keep happening? Well, in one of the videos I posted in one of our permanently disabled already accounts, I explained that because I spilled too much tea, I shared too much inconvenient information about the cost of the bags, so that the capital behind those luxury brands are unhappy. And meanwhile, TikTok is spineless. So it's permanently disabled our accounts repeatedly. And it doesn't even give us an explanation. It just says you violated a rule. That's all. What rule? Oh, you mean the rule, don't make my capital masters unhappy, otherwise I will permanently disable you rule. Okay, I see. TikTok, as the platform, you can permanently disable my accounts because you have support from the capital. But I have the support from the people all over the world, the people who are now already awakened, who now refuse to be brainwashed any longer by the capital, who now refuse to be ripped off any longer by the capital. From now on, I will register 1,000 new accounts. And even if you disable all of them, I will register the 1,001st account.
He want all the smoke, and I want to touch upon a few things, because y'all know me. If I don't talk about it right away, it'll leave my brain. You know what I mean? One thing that I'm realizing what's happening now is this whole trade war is kind of, this is a backfire, because these Chinese manufacturers, what they decided to do now is go direct to consumer, which is not what the big brands want. So the people that are making all these high luxury brands, usually they're unlisted. You know what I mean? They're exclusive to the companies they work with, because it's good business. You know what I mean? Like these people, you build a relationship, they guarantee a certain amount of orders, so you stick with them. But because of this whole trade war going on, these companies have decided, and you know what's messed up? They're going to make more money like this too. If anything, this opens up. They're going to make more money and things are going to be cheaper for us, to be honest with you. If I understand it right, these manufacturers are now opening TikTok accounts, WhatsApp, like ways for you to communicate with them, and Facebook for you to go directly to the consumer, no more middleman. So the Nikes that are being made for $10 and being jacked up by, you know, the company Nike for $150, well, the manufacturer says, yo, listen, you don't got to pay $150. We make them for 10, pay us 15. You know what I mean? And to be honest with you, it's a win-win for them and it's a win-win for us. And that's how I really look at it. And also there's a win in another way too, because it destroys the facade. It destroys the idea of what you're wearing is somehow more superior. There was a video that was pretty interesting, bro. Like, and I don't know why I watched a video today that changed my entire perspective, and I feel so dumb that I did not think about this earlier. You know how we're always saying things from China are so cheap? Oh, stuff from China is so cheap. Like, I don't like stuff from China. It'd be cheap. Like, we're talking about cheaply made, but we don't really be talking about cheap in price. So when a Chinese manufacturer makes something that's $2 worth, then that's the value of it in real life. But when you bring it to America and you jack up that $2 product for $200, everybody here in America's perspective is this is cheap, this is trash. But if you paid $2 for that same thing that you're calling cheap and trash, you wouldn't think it. Wait, is this Michael? Okay, yeah, you wouldn't think it would be cheap and trash because you only paid $2 for it. Your expectations are high because of the price that you're paying, and so, like, on my life, like, I realized today, I'm like, wait a minute. This stuff is cheap because it's made to be cheap. And we're only paying so much for it because of the middleman that's charging whatever he wants for the product that I'm paying for. So in reality, like, corporate greed, which always has a role to play, right? Like, I'm over here like, in reality, if you think about it, corporate greed has a role to play in this, but it always does. But it's just they've done such a good job of, like, are we under a spell or something? Like, I don't know what's going on. Like, because I'm so mad that I didn't even, and it's like, I know things are made cheaply in China, and it's just like, why wouldn't I correlate that with, so if they're cheap, if they're made for cheap money, then they're made with cheap products. You know what I mean? So I think this is a good thing for the people. You know what I mean? I think this is a good thing for the people. Maybe now we'll start to value things a little bit more. And, you know, anytime corporations can get brought down to size, it's a good thing for us all. You know what I mean? Especially when that corporation is built its brand off of an idea, off of a concept of luxury, when in reality, they're giving you the trash, the $2. Look, this guy's spilling the beans right now. He's like, yo, bro, we make this. Oh, no, I don't think we got there yet. Hold on. Look at this.
Continue to spill the tea of the cost of bags and continue to make great bags of right prices for all the people around the world. Chinese people are not afraid of hard work and sacrifice. Chinese people are not afraid of oppression and tyranny. Otherwise, we wouldn't have stood up from the more than 100 years of foreign invasion, oppression, and colonization from 1840 to 1945. Otherwise, we wouldn't have become what we are now. And in the future, China will take lead in the world, not by ripping off other peoples and countries, but by honestly and equally developing with other countries and peoples.
He's out here saying he spilled too much tea.
And then, oh yeah, the too much tea thing is hilarious. You know, he be saying the N-word when nobody's around. Here's the thing, right? Another thing that I realized about China too, and I remember when I seen you guys ever see a real video of China, like their skyline, like their cities, like, yo, bro, they got a lot of stuff over there. Like, I think also, like, not only has America been hypnotized in the delusion that, you know, the stuff that we're being made, the stuff that's being made is worth more than it actually is, but they've also made us, and they did a little bit of this with Africa too, you know what I mean, where they make America's a great country. First, before I say what I'm about to say, I love America. This is home. This is where I want to be. You know what I mean? I am who I am because of here. But I've been traveling a lot recently, and I gotta admit, bro, everywhere I go, I'm like, damn, bro, like, why doesn't America have this? Or like, this is kind of dope. This is this and that. And so once you kind of like see what's outside in the world, like, you realize, like, wait a minute, nah, like, if anything, they're probably selling the cheap stuff to us because some of the stuff that I'm saying, they got cars with like they got a bunch of stuff where I'm like, yo, bro, like this is a pretty good concept right here. You know what I mean? If this works out, this could be revolutionary, a game changer. You know what I mean? They already got a leg up on the solar. They already got a leg up on AI. Recently, what was that? DeepSeek or whatever? It went viral for being what Chat GPT is for a fraction of the cost. So it's just like maybe these people aren't as primitive or aren't as like whatever, like low on the totem pole as America and the world would like you to believe. Because like, you know, perception is everything. This is why a lot of the times, especially if you have children of color, it's very important for you to reinforce their confidence. Because if you walk around thinking something is real, at some point you'll manifest that into your reality. So, you know, if the people are over here walking around thinking, yeah, these people are nothing, these people aren't a threat, these people are blah blah blah, you're not really going to see the thing that's coming at you. You know what I mean? Like it's beneficial to somebody for you to be asleep. It's beneficial for somebody for you to not know what's going on around the world and how powerful somebody who may be perceived as an enemy really is. You know what I mean? I don't perceive China as an enemy. You know what I mean? It's definitely competition, and competition can be scary at times. You know what I mean? So it's just like there's a narrative that's being pushed that if you travel the world, you really see it. You know what I mean? And it's not exactly what it's made out to be. And I think right now they're really pulling the wool over everybody's head right now.
And Americans on TikTok can't get enough. They're eating it up like it's some shocking revelation, even though this game's been going on forever.
I don't know about y'all, but I'm loving my Chinese spy, my Chinese supplier. Man, I know after this 75-day extension, we out of here on TikTok. We gone. It's suppliers on here selling Nikes for $1 and $2, y'all. Man, they dragging Herms through the mud. They are really showing us that we are being manipulated into working.
They probably should have took this app away when they had the chance, because the Chinese manufacturers just hit them folks with the Uno reverse.
Yeah, it's all funny how this is.
Yeah, you know, that's funny too, because then you be forgetting TikTok is a Chinese app, or they like to say it's not, but it really is, or whatever. TikTok is a Chinese app. So if there's a trade war going on, literally the biggest thing right now in this country, damn near in terms of social media, is TikTok. So why wouldn't a Chinese manufacturer be like, oh, really? America wants to do this? Well, we're just going to undercut all of the corporations that make America what it is using our app that everybody in America is already tapped into. You know what I mean? Like, yo, that's kind of diabolical, bro. I'm not even gonna hold you. That, and it's smart. And I'm not mad at it, bro. I'm not mad at it because now people are buying Nikes for $1, $2. You know what I mean? It's not like they taking American jobs away any damn way. They're making it down there. You feel me? It's crazy, man. Hold on. There's some more. Let's see what this chick got to say. Hold on.
Manufacturers are the best content on TikTok. They said, oh, tariffs, you say. Oh, okay. American people, y'all said y'all like New Balance, Adidas, Nike. Bet. Oh, yeah. The manufacturer is such and such, located at such and such in Guangzhou. They do shipping within this time, and here are the products. I've seen the manufacturers for every brand anybody could possibly think of, from shoes and apparel to beauty products. One of the Chinese manufacturers said, oh yeah, you know how you pay such and such $100 for Chanel beauty products? Well, we only make them for $10. Listen, I don't know how this tariff thing is going to play out, but the way that the Chinese manufacturers are playing their hand, absolutely well done. 10s across the board. I told y'all in the years that I lived in China, I got everything under the sun because everything is pretty much made there. So to see people learning about the actual quality that's in,
I specifically remember doing videos on businesses. I think it was black women who wanted to sell hair, weaves. And I remember that they a lot of women in that industry would talk about how there is a wall, because it's not like you gotta do business with people, and these people are overseas, and 9 times out of 10 they're gonna want to sell, they're gonna want to keep the money in house. So a lot of people who weren't Asian was coming up against the wall in that business when it was time for them to get certain hair products or whatever. And the reason being is because it really only works if the manufacturer is exclusive. You know what I mean? If the manufacturer is exclusive, then they can set the prices whatever they want to set. You know what I mean? Because there's only a few people that got the plug. You know what I mean? Like think about it. You on a block, right? If I got the plug, and I got the best plug, I can make my prices whatever I want to make it. If, like, you know what I mean? Because I got the top plug. Let alone if my competition, everybody from the, it's actually, you know what? I don't even need to make up a hypothetical. I think that's how oil works. OPEC, like everybody, like these people are all setting the prices because there's only like one supply and they all tapped in with the same dude. So it's just like you can only get it from one place. You know what I mean? So if everybody sets it, or that's how they do with jewelry as well. It's just like diamonds are pretty much useless, but because the people that sell the diamonds are releasing it out, you know, trickle, you know what I mean? Like they're not putting everything out there. And it's not like you could just walk down the street and find your local diamond supplier. They get to control the market. But right now they're like, yo, we're going to blow this whole thing up with us in the whip. You know what I mean? So it's just like now it's like once you remove the exclusivity, because that's what she did. She's like, yo, these are the manufacturers, these are the people doing that. Now everybody can eat. You know what I mean? Everybody can buy at wholesale prices. And yo, bro, like I'm a consumer. You know what I mean? That's great news. You know what I mean? And for small businesses, it's like, why do the big dogs gotta be the only one selling shoes or whatever? I could buy $10 shoes from China, and maybe I sell them for 20 instead of 150. You know what I mean? Like any idea where like luxury brands, luxury brands based off of an idea, not the quality. Like for instance, like there's like I got a bro who loves, I don't know what brand he uses though. But then again, you don't even know if these brands are quality, because a lot of these brands are being, I got to take that back actually, because the things that you think are quality, they might not even really be quality as a matter of fact. So I actually like the idea of these brands getting taken down the size, because you got to think about it, bro. Like, and the video's coming up, it just hasn't pulled up now, but I'll talk about it for a little bit. Is you got to think about it. It's just like, even though it's business, but it's just like, all right, if Nike is buying these shoes for $10 and selling them to us for $150, why should I have to pay the difference in the tariff? Nigga, you pay the difference in the tariff. You know what I mean? You already making a killing. You understand? And I know there's overhead cost or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But it's just like, if you're not going to pay the difference and you think I'm going to now pay, and don't think that the company's going to pass along the exact amount or more that they would have to pay to get the raw goods to make the products. That's not how it works. They're gonna tax on it. Trust me, I know. They're gonna tax a little bit extra on it or whatever. So it's just like, nigga, if you're not gonna pay that extra money and all of that, then bump it. We're gonna go to the manufacturer and we can pay the tariff directly from them or whatever, and it would still be less than whatever I would pay from you guys. You understand? So I love the idea, man. I think it's a great idea, man. I think they're shaking it up a little bit. I'm not gonna hold you. Hold on a second.
In China, because not everything is made cheaply. And learning about websites like Taobao, y'all better get to getting while the getting is good.
This is not a drill. They are suppliers online on this app that are selling Nikes for $1 and also for $2. Like the Chinese suppliers and factories, I don't know what Nike did to them, but I saw one guy, he had like a bunch of shoes around.
Do you know how much a Chinese factory make for a pair of Nike shoes? $10, which sells $150 on the shelf. A Stanley Cup, $50. The factory gets $1. But when they sell millions of them, that's millions of dollars, and all surplus. That's where the surplus comes from. But for every $1 the factory made, somebody in America is making $49. Who is benefit from the globalization? And think about the pollution the factory has to cause in the local area. Who is benefit from the globalization? I don't know.
Chinese producers are all over social media right now, and they're exposing just who is targeted by Trump's tariffs. And it's not the American consumers, and it's not the Chinese producers. It's actually our international corporations who have sold out American prosperity for their own profits. Let me illustrate. Let's use this example, Nike. Now, these are fictitious numbers, just for example. But let's say that Nike buys shoes from this company that manufactures Nike shoes for $10 a Nike shoe, which isn't very far off. Nike turns around and sells that shoe at retail for $100. Here's the interesting part about tariffs. You're not paying tariffs on the retail price. This is not a tax in the classic sense. The way the economists who are bought and paid for are trying to conflate it as, it is a tax on the import. This means with a 25% tariff, Nike's going to have to pay $2.50 to the US government every time it imports a Nike shoe at $10. So
that's big, because even though that's something else that's really obvious that I did not know. You know what I mean? When you're thinking of tariffs, 25%, it's 25% of what they're selling it for. And that's a big deal. You know what I mean? And I don't know why, like, obviously it would be 25% of what they're selling it for, because why would they tariff a price that's already in America? You know what I mean? They would have charged you 25% on a $150 shoe, because it's $150 when it comes to America. It's not $150 when they're buying it from China. And I know, bro, I'm sure I'm not the only one. Like, I know that seems really dumb for me to have just kind of connected those dots, but I know I can't be the only one that didn't necessarily think about it like that. So, but now listen. So that's very important. Pay attention. Look at this.
$250 gets remitted to the American government, to American citizens. Now Nike's cost $10 for the shoe, $2.50 for the import tax. This means they're netting $87 per shoe. Now that's net, not profit. There are going to be other costs that are going to have to come from that. But you can see that the increase in cost is $2.50. So let's say that Nike passes the entire cost onto the consumer, even a little more, just because of the fear of tariffs. $103 a shoe now. That is the impact of a 25% tariff. So what the
No. I gotta, even though this man is smart and I don't want to think, but I don't believe Nike isn't only gonna charge us $103. They're not gonna only charge us the $2.50 difference. If you remember, like what a lot of these companies do, they're opportunists. Whenever there's chaos, this is why bottles of water are being sold for $50 during a hurricane. You know what I mean? Because when there's an opportunity for you to make more money, you're going to take it. I remember and shout out Hurricane. I think I saw Hurricane's comment. Shout out to Hurricane in the building. Hurricane JW brought up the COVID. I remember when COVID was going on, and there was a lot of people talking about, oh, manufacturers are slow shipping, and it really came out to be like, nah, it was just so much of a good excuse that people was using that even if you wasn't affected by it, you were now affected by it. That way you can raise your prices, cut your staff, and make more money. You understand? So although I do believe, like, this man has opened my eyes in terms of what I thought, in terms of what tariffs are and what they actually mean. But let's be very clear. Your beef now would honestly be more with Nike than it would be with China. And bro, correct me if I'm wrong, you know what I mean? I'm not no political financial analyst, but based off of what I'm seeing now, if Nike got to pay $2.50, but they're going to charge me an extra $20 just cause, then my beef honestly is really with Nike. You know what I mean? And you really fight back with your dollars. You know what I mean? So it's like, if my beef is with Nike and Nike's boss, manufacturer, the people that keep Nike alive are saying, yo, bump that, they the middleman, get it from us, then where do you think I'm going? Where the hell do you think I'm going? You know what I mean? I'm not in it for, like, well, see, but now here's the thing, actually, wait a minute. Me as a logical, I'm not to say that y'all ain't logical or whatever, but in my brain, I'm like, okay, I don't give a damn about Nike or whatever. I just want some nice, comfortable, stylish shoes on my feet. You know what I mean? And it helps if it's name brand and other people think it's cool too or whatever. So it's just like, as soon as Nike gets out the picture, it's not like I don't care about the shoes anymore. If anything, I'm more interested now that I can afford them. You understand? If anything, I'll be less interested when they get higher in price because I know how much the people pay for it. This is why Shark Tank, even though like I like Shark Tank, but I know for a fact, every time, for those you, Shark Tank is actually, if you don't know what Shark Tank is, I don't think I can explain it to you right now. But for those of you who know what Shark Tank is, I know for a fact when these businesses go in front of these guys and they ask them, so what does it cost for you to make and how much you sell it to the consumer? I know for a fact that they be like, ugh, they probably dread that part, because that shows the consumer how much money you're taking from them. You know what I mean? And of course, there's overhead, there's employees, there's taxes, insurance, and all that. But the average everyday consumer isn't going to think about that. They're saying, wait a minute, you get this for 30 cents and you sell it for $300? I'm paying way too much. You know what I mean? And then it forces the consumer, or at least it incentivizes the consumer to go find the same product at a better deal. And we all win. Like, trust me, bro, I'm in business, bro. Like, you think even when I get materials, I'm taxing, bro. I be taxing just in case, like I make a wrong cut or I don't install something right. But like, I'm always putting a 10% tax on top of the material just in case, you know what I mean? But so it's just like, of course these guys are doing it too. It's a crazy situation. There's one more. Oh wait, no. Let me let him finish. And then there's one more. There's a Asian guy going really viral right now because he's really talking that caca over here to America, man. I think y'all might want to fight after you see this. Hold on a second.
Chinese producers on TikTok are saying, instead of the American consumer buying it for $103, or let's just say that the company Nike eats all $2.50 of the tariff and still sells it for $100, you're way better off over here, paying directly to China, including the tariff, $12.50 a shoe plus shipping. So as you can see, the tariffs are not meant to hurt consumers. They're not meant to hurt China. They don't really affect China at all. They're meant to protect American industry. They're meant to protect Americans from their corporations who will sell them out for a profit. So if you look hard, you'll notice that the people who are screaming about how bad tariffs are for consumers, it's these companies right here. It's Wall Street. It's all the investors in these companies, because they.
You know what about that I don't agree with? Even though this man is dropping gems, if the government really cared about protecting us from the consumer, what they would do is regulate. And this sounds fucked up. I would never agree to this though, because I'm a businessman myself. But what they would really do is regulate how much Nike could upcharge, and that would be crazy. I know that's insane or whatever, but I'm just trying to, like, they'll tell you, oh, we're doing, the tariffs are for, obviously the money probably does go into the government and industries here in the States or whatever, but it's not really about protecting the consumer from the corporation. You understand? It's a few things. It's more revenue, you know what I mean? There's no, you never need an excuse to get more money from another country or whatever, or get more money from a business transaction. But it's also an issue where, yo, bro, America built China, bro. Like, if we're gonna be honest, like, these people, like, is my like, I remember watching them on TV. It used to be like teepees and huts and mud, like, bro, like, it's way different now. You know what I mean? I think they damn near built that whole country in like 30 years, bro. You know what I mean? So it's like they built that off of the American consumer. You know what I mean? So it's just like America's realizing, we're like, damn, like, not only America, because that they ship everywhere across the world, but you better believe we played a very hefty role in their, comeuppance, you know what I mean? And so it's just like America's probably saying like, oh man, hold on a second. We're no longer the only superpower here. And, change is scary. I don't even think I know Hurricane just said China's yeah. In other aspects, I do think China's a threat. But I feel like, you know what I mean? Like, these people are just trying to get big and do what they do. As long as they stay out my way, we can stay out theirs and we can keep it cool. You know what I mean? But then again, maybe I might not know about the political situations as much as I should to make that statement. But regardless, though, I'm in this situation, bro. I'm not looking at China as like the big bad wolf over here. I'm looking at like, oh snap, the corporations are falling down. You know what I mean? And I think that's good for all of us, especially the ones, like I said in the beginning, making monies off of the idea of something valuable rather than actually making that thing valuable. You know what I mean? And that's a factory, y'all. All right, one more thing, because this lady, there's a guy that I definitely want you guys to see.
Americans. You got this Chinese man here flat out taunting white people, calling them dumb.
MAGA people, you guys are really dumb. Seriously, the whole world know you guys are dumb. Only you guys don't know about it. I'm Chinese. I'm just very straightforward. You guys are so stupid. If the lies too complicated, you guys cannot even understand. So politicians have to make the most obvious, most ridiculous lies, and you guys like, oh, I get it. That makes sense.
He's saying MAGA, but everyone knows when an ethnic person says MAGA, that's code for white people. And he's been trolling them for days. I have to say, this whole fight is pretty interesting. He's got a clap back for every comment.
So many MAGA leave messages like, soon I will have no products from China. Yeah, that's only because soon you will have no home. Sorry, that's not funny. In China, we all have homes. Even the poorest have home, can afford fresh vegetable, meat, eggs. That's just like basic human rights in China. And I hope you also have that basic human rights. Oh, nice. Thank you, sir. And yes, exactly. In this world, only China buying that many agricultural products. And 1.4 billion Chinese, no one is starving. Do you know India? India has people starving to death every year, and they are still exporting agricultural products to other countries. Capitalism. You must admit that Western propaganda is the best propaganda in humanity history. They make you know 1989. They don't make you know 1970 in Kent State, 1985 Philadelphia, right? Like a Chinese, we don't know about this dark history of Western countries. But you guys all know China's. So smart. Without United States, you have nothing, China. Yes, MAGA, we don't have child labor, school shooting, homeless problem, genocide, oligarchy, monopoly, crazy expensive yet inefficient healthcare system, heavy tax on working class, property tax every year, anti-Semitism awareness law, a supremacy bubble you live in, built by multi-billion-dollar worth propaganda, a fake free speech, fake democracy. Yeah, you guys got it all. Also, we don't have MAGA. Hello from China. Let me show you the United States products in my home. Nothing. Do you have something from China in your home?
As you can see,
Yo, bro, I can't lie. We gotta fight this dude, bro. We gotta go find this dude, man. Let me tell you something right now. We gotta fight this dude, man. Shout out to everybody in the building. In order to make a livable wage for just yourself with no family, you have to work 5 hours a week in China. You have to work 5 hours a week in China. Oh man, this is, I mean, you know, it's crazy, man. Like, you know, one thing he said that really hit for me was the whole freedom of speech thing. He was like, "Oh yeah, you got fake freedom of speech. You guys over here think you guys are X, Y, and Z, but really, if you really look at what you guys got going on, overpriced healthcare, you know, all of these extra stuff that we talk about here in this country all the time." It just does hit a little bit harder when the person that they've trained for you to think is, you know, these guys are communists. These guys are, you know, human rights violation. They putting people in camps and all of this stuff. Like it does make you pause and sit like, wait a minute. If he's saying it, it's different. You know what I mean? Like you notice it a little bit more. Man, it's crazy, man. You know, I'm always on Team America. It's hard for me to like, I mean, the truth is always the truth. And you know, this guy's Chinese, so he has his motives and he has his biases, but I think we can all learn from what this man is saying. That's a fact. I think
import cheap garbage and sell you with high price.
Wait, this is look, this is the thing. This is important. Look at this. This right here is a bar. We might really need to fight him for this one, though. What he's about to say over here hurts. No bully. Listen to this.
But said they're all garbage. Listen to his response.
Yeah, imagine why your importers only import cheap garbage and sell you with high price. Look, this garbage only $2 to buy, and in your country it will at least $19. Who's laughing now?
Or this commenter here who pointed out that a lot of Chinese move to America and attend American universities, clawing at the opportunity to live in the United States. Basically,
did you guys catch that? I hope you guys caught that. It's like you calling the product garbage because you're paying $20 for something that should be $2. Of course, you're gonna think it's garbage. You know what I mean? But if you paid $2 for it, you probably think, damn, this thing's lasting forever for just $2. And that's what the corporations figured out. And that's how they're moving. That's what they make their money off of. They're making their money off of the idea that this is a superior product, even though it's not. And so because of that, even though I'm a capitalist, you know what I mean? But it's just like, I'm still a consumer at the end of the day. This is how markets grow. You know what I mean? Y'all got to figure something else out now. You know what I mean? And if it costs too much, then maybe it costs too much. Maybe we should all be buying $2 hoodies from China instead of $20 hoodies from China that are made by the exact same factory, just being sold by a different middleman. You understand? This is why I'm like, yo, we got to fight this dude because he's actually dropping bars, but he's Chinese. So it's just like, it's America all day, bro. Somebody give me a flag right now, bro.
Saying if everything is so wonderful in China, why are they coming over here? He even had a response for that.
My dear MAGA, that is not called so many. Chinese people are all around the world because there is over 1.4 billion Chinese, and the Chinese people have money to move around. You don't. Yes, that's called one person work can support a whole family. Why you guys all obsessed with working? You think you don't have master?
Oh, I think this is the point that you was who said that? Wasn't that Brandon? Is this what you was talking about? One person. Okay, that's why 600 million people in China make less than 1,000 yen a month. But if you can still support, like, I don't know what the economics in China is. And it's like, why did I think about that? So, okay, let me make this thing. So if we've always heard like, yeah, people in these countries make $2 for the entire year. But if everything in that country is a half a penny, then maybe $2 isn't that bad. Yo, bro, I feel so, even though I'm sure that's not exactly how it is, but I feel so mad that these basic concepts never crossed my mind up until recent, bro. Like, because you always hear that, like, yeah, bro, y'all are making $5 a day, like $5 a month. But it's just like, maybe that's all they need. You know what I mean? Like, maybe, you know what I mean? I mean, I'm sure they're not living it up, but I mean, is it true that homeless people don't exist in China? I don't know if I've ever seen a video with a homeless. I never seen a Skid Row in China. I'm not gonna lie to you, unless they kill them people and lock them in camps, which is a whole nother thing. You know what I mean? Hey man, Team America all day, bro. Your boy, somebody get this guy, man.
You think you don't have master? Then why you are being a financial slave? The student loan, all the interest of your loan is crazy. It's illegal in China. MAGA, the Federal Reserve using dollar to exploit people all around the world. And you didn't get the benefits. You pay tax and the tax money go to war. Why you sound so proud? Hi, I'm only joking with you. Why your MAGA suddenly get all so defensive and start to throwing all this Western propaganda about China at me? Those propaganda created to enslave you. It doesn't work on me. I know real China.
This man has been going on and on, taking shots just like the rest of them. The harsh truth, one that many Americans still haven't grasped, is that America created this monster. At the root of it all, American greed and corruption deeply embedded in the system. Now you have Chinese men openly taunting Americans, saying what America should be doing. Like this guy right here, he straight up said America needed a revolution. And let's be real, he didn't tell a single lie.
They rob you blind and you thank them for it. That's a tragedy. That's a scam. That's why I'm saying this right now. Americans, you don't need a tariff. You need a revolution. For decades, your government and oligarchs only ship your job to China, not for diplomacy, not for peace, but to exploit cheap laborers. And in the process, they hollowed out your middle class, crushed your working class, and told you to be proud while they sold your future for profit.
He's not lying. He's not lying. And I think his tone being less condescending hits harder. He's not lying, bro. He's not lying. He's not lying. For real. He's not lying.
And yes, China made money, but we used it to build roads, lift millions out of poverty, fund healthcare, raise living standard. We reinvested in our people. My family also benefited from it. What did your oligarchs do? They bought yachts, private jets, mansions with golf course driveways. They manipulate the market, dodge tax, and poured billions into endless wars. And you get stagnated wages, crippling healthcare costs, cheap dopamine, debt, and flagged wave poverty made in China while they pick your pocket. For 40 years, both China and the United States benefit from the trade, the manufacturing, but only one of us use that wealth to build. This isn't China's fault. This is yours. You let this happen. You let the oligarchs fit your lies while they made you fat, poor, and addicted. Now they blame China for mess they made. I don't think so. I don't think you need another tariff. You need to wake up. You need to take your country back. I think you need a revolution.
He said we allow them.
Listen, I hope he's not in America saying this because Trump's ICE is coming for you, buddy. Yeah. I'm telling you right now, Trump, the Department of Homeland Security is on that ass, boy. I'm not gonna lie to you because I felt that, bro. I felt that. Yeah, I mean, that's a fact. Because this is like when you think about it, yo, bro, you ever see China's skyline, bro? Nah, hold on. Let me see if I can find. Actually, nah. Go Google what China looks like. I know there's like some shithole. There's shitty places everywhere. But bro, what they've managed to do in the past 30 years, oh man, it's like, bro, if they could do that, we should be out. We should have had floating cities by now. The way these guys is moving. And so his point is like, yo, listen, yeah. We both countries made money, but we invested it here. What did your people invested in? And of course, I'm sure America has done stuff. You know what I mean? America's still rich. We still doing our thing, but I can't get a damn pothole fixed out here. Meanwhile, these people are leading in AI, solar technology, all type of different things that we used to call the future. I grew up on Captain Planet. You know what I mean? Like we supposed to be at the top of the game. You know what I mean? So it's just like when you see something like this, you're like, wait a minute, hold on a second. You know what I mean? I know that's the ops, but he might have a point. You know what I mean? Straight up and down, man. Hold on. Where we at with it, man? Your boy been hanging. Oh, damn. I've been on this topic for an hour. Come on, man. Big shout out to everybody in the building. Shout out to Brandon. Brandon says 1,000 yen is around $136, and prices in China are about 1/5 of those in America, which is an effective disparity of around 228%. Oh, this boy went to he's smart. He's smart. Brandon is smart, y'all. This boy did the math for the kid, man. He made good points, but he ignored that China was complicit in the use of cheap labor, and the Chinese people have not benefited from it. Only Chinese elites. Ooh, okay. Yeah, well, I mean, you might know more than me. Point me in the right direction, Brandon. Let me know, because I'm trying to shit on China right now, bro. Because these niggas got me feeling some type of way. I'm trying to take big dookies on China right now, bro. They got your boy feeling real obsolete right now, bro. Hold on a second, man. But to your point, man. Yeah, man. It's just like if this. Damn, actually, now this math seems complicated. Yeah. If the prices are 1/5 in those in America, then $136 a day might not be as bad. Actually, no, $136 a week might not be as bad as it sounds over here than over there. Anyways, man. Listen, man, we gotta switch gears. It's getting hot. My blood pressure going up. Switch gears a little bit. We're going to get into America's buffoonery. Don't forget to like the stream. And if you're not watching live, make sure you like the stream. Like the video, because I'm trying to do something different right now. Oh, you know what? Let me tell you guys, I got good news today.